Oh, man. Manny Pacquiao basically gets stripped. I just want to see you strip. Your Dennis UGAS now becomes the super champion. We are going to talk about it. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to my channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. Now, Manny Pacquiao, I am not the WBA champion in recess. He is now the champion in recess. Now, they're not calling it a strip, but I'm calling it a strip because basically we know how the game goes. You could call it a champion in recess or whatever you want to call it. He's basically being stripped. 11 minutes ago, your Dennis UGAS of Cuba. It says, thank God, my agent, my team, family, and friends, today is a great day for me. Thanks to the WBA for raising me to the super champion and doing what is best for the sport. Manny Pacquiao is a legend and he will always be a champion. His intention was to fight McGregor and now Ryan Garcia, but you cannot. Now that's what I'm talking about, WBA. Now that's how you're supposed to strip. Now that's how you strip. That's what I'm talking about. Strip this man. Bro, last year was a pandemic year. Man, today is a great day. Strip this man, Pacquiao. Here's why. There's a lot of things going on in boxing, and it may line certain people's pockets, but does it benefit the whole of boxing? And Manny Pacquiao, first of all, he's a legend. We get that. So Manny Pacquiao's a legend, and that doesn't mean you could just do whatever and hold up the whole sport of boxing. You see what I'm saying? And if you think about it, last year was already a tumultuous year where there was, oh, I'm not trying to send Pacquiao a message. Hold on. It was already a crazy year. They thought I was trying to DM Pacquiao. He'd be like, who is this Boxingego? With the pandemic, it was already really a rough year for a lot of people. And that halted boxing and live sports. I mean, I don't have to encompass the whole year, but you guys get it. The whole year, rest in peace to Kobe. That was another person was taken from last year. Rest in peace to Gigi and all the passengers on that helicopter. But it was a rough year, and we already didn't get live sports, right? So that's in itself, it's its own issue. Then you have Pacquiao, who's a senator, and he only can fight during certain spaces of time anyway because of his political duties to his country, the Philippines, right? And we knew Pacquiao was going to try to fight some type of large fight with Conor McGregor, but he just got beat by Dustin Poirier. So now they're talking about Pacquiao fighting against Ryan Garcia, which really, if you're really being honest, that makes no sense. You know, Ryan Garcia is 20 years younger than Pacquiao. They're not even close in weight. Like, even the Conor McGregor, Conor is an established star and fighter. So had he gotten past Dustin Poirier, I could see that because he's a big star. He already fought Floyd. You know, Conor McGregor's probably like 30 years old, 31, something like that. Pacquiao's 42, you know, so they're closer in age. Conor McGregor fought at featherweight in the UFC, which is like 145, fought at 155. Pacquiao fought in or around those weight classes, you know, Margarito and fights with other people, Floyd and Keith Thurman. So it kind of made more sense. But since that plan got halted, I guess plan B was for Pacquiao to possibly fight Ryan Garcia, who's a 135-pounder. He does have some star power, it appears, but, you know, fight doesn't really make too much sense if we're really being honest. A 35-pounder, 20 years younger. They're talking about an exhibition, and it would just hold up the division. Pacquiao beat Keith Thurman. I thought he won. Close fight, split decision, good fight, fun fight, but he hasn't fought since 2019. So I do think it was the right move for the WBA, since Pacquiao couldn't fight for logistical reasons probably last year with the pandemic because the absence of a live gate, Pacquiao's popularity, you know, probably didn't make much sense. So he already didn't fight then. But then your first fight back, you're talking about fighting a kid in an exhibition in basically a fight that doesn't count. You know, that just doesn't make sense for boxing. So I'm happy for your Dennis UGAS, because listen, we got to get boxing. If fighters want to be actors and entertainers only and not treat the sport like a competition, then go fight on Triller or get stripped of your duties and don't, you know what I'm saying, don't hold the belt hostage. Like some people, I see this, it's so funny, the double standards you see in boxing. Some people say, oh, Pacquiao, he's a legend, which he is. He's a legend. He's done so much. He doesn't need a belt. You know, he can fight whoever he wants. But a lot of these same people didn't say that for Floyd Mayweather. Late in Floyd's career, when he was like 40, they were telling him he needed to fight Golovkin, and mad when he was fighting Berto and fighting people like that. And Conor McGregor, they said, no, he got to do more. And Floyd beat Pacquiao. But for Pacquiao, they say, oh, Pacquiao, he's a legend. He's already done so much. He doesn't need to do anything else. He doesn't have anything else to prove. So, again, if that's your argument that he has nothing to prove, this is still a competitive sport. So if you have nothing to prove, why not retire? You know, and then you have no bullseye on your back. You have no weight on your shoulders. Retire. You've already done everything that and tasted the glory and everything that boxing has to offer. Retire. Then you have no pressure. Or in this situation, be active, but don't be an active champion and hold up a belt and hold a belt hostage while you finagle around and try to do exhibitions that are, you know, meaningless, whilst guys that are underprivileged, I want to say, like your Dennis UGAS, Pacquiao's already, like, my mom doesn't watch combat sports, but she knows who Pacquiao is. She would not know your Dennis UGAS from not watching the sport of boxing, you know? So I feel like boxing, you know, I'm not trying to sound like Robin Hood of boxing, but we need to steal from the rich and give to the poor. And boxing is trying to do the opposite, like almost be capitalist and, you know, almost like dictators, like where the people in power and the people who already have shine, like a Pacquiao, gets all the opportunities, or a Canelo. You know, Canelo gets all the opportunities for every WBC belt that they come out with. If it becomes vacant, Canelo gets first dib. But Canelo already has stature. He already has popularity. You know, why not let David Benavidez have fought Caleb Smith, you know, two highly ranked WBC guys, let them fight for the belt, you know, instead of a person who he's already making great money, cash cow, things like that. Same thing here with Pacquiao. Pacquiao has already done a lot. He's already notified the boxing game that he's arrived. He's already fought big fights, fought in big venues, made a lot of money. But guys like you guys, he's still trying to prove something. He wants to get the big fights, and, you know, he says he's down to fight ERROL Spence. You know, he'll fight Pacquiao. He would have fought Pacquiao for the WBA strap. But since Pacquiao wants to fight exhibitions, you know, it doesn't look like that's going to happen next. So I like this move from the WBA, because that's what it should be. If you're clowning around and you catting and not trying to fight real competition, and you're holding that piece of hardware, then you got to get that pressure off of you. And if you want to fight Ryan in an exhibition after sitting out all of last year, it really makes no sense for you to remain a champion and stagnate the division and not allow the people like ERROL Spence. He's making money. He's rising to fame. He's selling out AT&T Stadium. But another thing he's doing is fighting real competition. The man flew through a car windshield, hit pavement, and is already fighting Danny Garcia in his first fight back, you know? So he still has the drive and the hunger. If anything, he sounds rejuvenated in his approach to, nearly losing his life. So for me, ERROL Spence is he's like one of the model citizens of boxing, showing that the hunger, you could connect the dots in all ways. You can make money in this sport, please the fans, sell merchandise, brand yourself, take tough fights, take high risk, and, you know, get high rewards and reap the benefits. A Pacquiao fight with Ryan Garcia, you know, it's something to watch, but it is nothing that really makes sense. It doesn't make sense. And again, if you feel Pacquiao, since he's been around so long, he's entitled to this, then cool. then that's why the WBA stripped him, because it just doesn't make sense, because there's people out here who literally need to feed their families in the sport of boxing, and they still have that drive and determination and hunger trying to prove something. They're trying to prove that they're the best. You see a lot of hunger in the sport. David Benavidez sounds hungry. You know, Errol Spence is hungry. Terrence Crawford is hungry. So if somebody just wants to fight exhibitions that don't count and they haven't fought in a long time, then the WBA is right to strip him. And I'm going to keep saying strip because that's basically what it is. They probably got word that, you know, maybe Pacquiao is going to do this exhibition. Their title won't be up for grabs. That's another thing that hurts the Ryan Garcia fight, is it's not likely to be a real fight according to the reports. So, and now if Pacquiao is a champion in recess, we know for sure his belt won't be up for grab. So to me, this is kind of a hit on Pacquiao. It's just the imagery is bad. You know, I don't know if the emergence of Jake Pauls and Logan Paul inspired other people to, you know, pursue, and, you know, a lot of the big wigs and the people who pull the purse strings in boxing, you know, seeing Mike Tyson and Roy Jones, if this inspired them to decide that this is what they want to spend their money on. But you could still make money in boxing. Just put it this way. Mike Tyson, when he was on top, he was making world-class money at the time. You know, he was making tons of dough, and he was a household name. And guess what? He didn't have to fight YouTubers. Imagine Mike Tyson fighting a YouTuber or just a talk show host or somebody, because YouTube wasn't really around at that point. But imagine Mike Tyson versus Arsenio Hall. You know, they didn't have to do that. So it shows you that in boxing, it's a niche sport, but the formula is not broken, but they're trying to break it. You know what I'm saying? Mike Tyson didn't have to fight Arsenio Hall. Can you imagine? Yeah, hi Arsenio. I heard your jokes on the tube. I was watching television. Now I want to fight. I want to fight you. I'm ecstatic. I'm elated. I can't wait to, you know, I'm the master of skullduggery. I want to fight you. Like, you didn't have to do that. You can have a great career and make great money, and you didn't have to have novelty fights and a bunch of stuff like that. But it seems like this is a route that modern boxing is trying to take. So the underdogs who need those belts and need those opportunities, then it's only right for, if you do go this way, let the UGASs and the Errol Spence, people who still want to show you what they're talking about, fight for the belts and don't hold it hostage. So I like this move from the WBA, champion in recess. And then, you know, at best you handle the Ryan Garcia exhibition or whatever, and then maybe get first dibs on fighting for the belt again. But this is a bold move and a good move. I'm happy for you guys. And this is the right move, because, again, people like you guys, I feel bad because, like, real talk, people like you guys, they need belts. They need to, you know, that's part of what's going to help them sell. Pacquiao, at this point, you can't say he needs the more fame. Like, people know who he is. He doesn't need the belt. So if you're not going to fight world class, you're not going to treat this like an actual sport, then that's cool. Take a seat and then, you know, fight your exhibition. And let the real people who aren't doing exhibitions and really are taking this like a sport and have the willingness to win and still have the hunger for it, let them make their money and make their shillings. Let me know what you guys think. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Good news for boxing. Good news for boxing. And see, this, the last thing I'll say is, you have an Afro-Cuban in your Dennis UGAS. And I don't want to hear about, oh, he's the email champion and stuff, because Pacquiao could have fought him, and or if he fought like an Errol Spence or, you know, somebody like a real fight, like a unification or Terrence Crawford or something, then he probably wouldn't become a champion of recess. So this may be an indication that the Ryan Garcia fight could be happening, because they might have gotten advised that, hey, Pacquiao, Ryan, this is actually a thing. So the WBA made their move. But we can't blame you guys for that, because this is what they did to Devin Haney. They say, oh, he's the email champ, but Lomachenko didn't fight him. Teofimo isn't fighting him next, you know? So how can we blame those fighters, right? How can we blame those fighters when it's a causation. Like Pacquiao trying to do an exhibition, you know, with either Conor or Ryan Garcia when he's a real champion, that is the cause. And UGAS being elevated is the effect. Just like Jermall Charlo when Canelo didn't fight him. Jermall called out Canelo and wanted to fight him. The cause is Canelo didn't want to fight him and requested the franchise champion and was in cahoots with the WBC, and they created this new program to hide Canelo out, the witness protection program. So as a result, Jermall Charlo got elevated. So we can't blame, and you notice it's all fighters of a certain complexion, you know, Afro-Cuban, Black African-American fighters, etc., that this seems to be happening where they sit back and, you know, overnight get the belt in the mail versus like the traditional way of, I fought this person to get the vacant title, or I fought this champion as a challenger, you know, to get the title, or I fought this champion and I'm a champion to unify. So we can't blame UGAS, Charlo, and Devin Haney in these occurrences, because all we know, they're down to fight these guys. It's just a matter of, you know, Pacquiao wouldn't lose his belt if he probably wasn't trying to do an exhibition fight. It's that simple. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. We working.
So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxingego, the future of boxing.